Hello, NCR, Legion, Yes Man, and Mr. House. Welcome to the 32nd edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. It's the second episode of Season 4. We are the show that compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quest with characters who have been assigned randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everybody, and it is our first real honest-to-God episode of the Fallout New Vegas Roundtable. This is Pat, your host for this evening, and I am joined by Kara. Kara, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty great. How about yourself?
Doing great. Also joined by Ray in the house. Ray, what's up?
Hello, doing okay.
Good to hear it. And Andrew is also in the house. Andrew, how are we doing tonight?
Wonderful, sir. Glad to be here.
Yeah, no, I am really excited about this. I tell you, I waffle back and forth with whether where Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 4 is my favorite of the series. I think it's whichever one I've spent the last 10 or 12 or 20 or 30 or 100 hours playing through, because they are both awesome games. So last episode we rolled some characters.
Did you start with 3 or New Vegas, Pat?
I started with 3.
Okay.
Started with 3. Played many hours of 3, but New Vegas just had that certain something, man.
A little something.
That's right, a little something for us. So so we rolled our characters a couple weeks ago, and we have been playing through our first roundtable. So we're going to go through our roundtable characters a little bit. Maybe have a couple of little small tidbits that we'll toss in there as well, and we will get started. So. Maybe before we get officially started, we were debriefing with Ray. Ray, you just got back from it sounds like a pretty good Dragon Con experience.
Yeah, definitely a good time. Got to see Lee and his Axidar fan table. Had all kinds of great stuff.
Great.
And he was working hard. That man was working hard for that video. He was stopping people, chatting them up, telling them all about it. And he did a great job.
Nice.
That's great.
And, got to shout out happy birthday to Lee.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, I was just thinking that today. It's his birthday, too.
Yeah, that's right. Good birthday shout out. Yeah.
It's fun. You guys have the first official ASA Podcasting South meetup.
Yeah. So, and then, dirty little secret. I kind of had fun doing a K-pop dance party.
Ooh, nice.
Did you do it?
I did the sound for it, and
were you dancing?
It's very much like techno. So there's a lot of beat, and there were definitely some songs that sounded good, really, really loud.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you were a dance music fan, Ray.
I'm not.
Well, maybe now he's a K-pop fan.
My K-pop knowledge starts and ends with Psy. That is it. So, by the way, this is a good chance to plug the ASA Podcasting Facebook group. For anybody who's listening to the show hasn't joined that Facebook group, lots of good pictures from, especially from some of Lee's adventures in Dragon Con. Lots of other good stuff linked on the Facebook page. So always a good go. Come check that out at facebook.com/group/a Skyrimatic podcast. I think. Boy, it's been too long. I've been plugging that enough lately.
I believe that sounds right, Pat.
It's something like that. You can find us. Oh, you have to be careful because there is another group with Skyrimatic in the name, so you have to be a little bit careful. We're the better one, of course. I think they may be larger, but we have quality going on. So Kara, how has your summer been after sort of your freedom from the graduate school grind?
So many games, Pat.
Nice.
Many games.
Beautiful.
And someone finally got me into Borderlands. I knew that once I played it, I wouldn't be able to stop playing it, so I never played it for years and years and years. And then someone got me a copy. So.
Well, and Borderlands 2 is exponentially better.
Oh,
that's what I hear.
I had a friend who was obsessed with Borderlands, and then he got the Game of the Year edition for Borderlands 2 and gave me his old copy of Borderlands 2, and you come over and play with it. I couldn't really last very long on it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's.
I need to give it a better chance because tons of my friends love it. So.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun.
I think Borderlands may have been yet another game that had a car level in it, which immediately made it a non-starter for me because I don't do cars in games.
Yeah, I'm not big on it either, but it's not really, it's not that much of it, and it's not like Rage. I rage quitted Rage because it was so hard to drive on a PC. And same thing with LA Noire. It's definitely made for controllers. So screw them.
Which of course is the correct way to play games is with a controller.
Yeah, not so much.
I scoff at thee. Although I will admit I did get I did go out and get a controller for my Steam games because I did find that yes, some of them you cannot play with WASD and a mouse.
So, Kara, I'm just curious. I'm wondering here, how exactly are you patching your Switch into your computer so you can mouse and keyboard your Switch? How
Don't point out the fallacies in my preferences.
I'm just curious. It's a touch screen. Can you control Mario Kart with your fingers on the touch screen?
Somehow I doubt it.
Yeah.
So
but Andrew, I tell you,
so speaking of go ahead here. Sorry.
I tell you what, I cannot play with another person when we split up the two side controllers. And you have, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but when you take for me, it's the red and the blue controllers off the sides, and then you give one to one person and one to the other, I feel like a giant playing on a teeny tiny baguette that will break at any moment in my hands. I can't do it that way.
But it's not ideal.
Yeah.
So Andrew, you've been working the Switch pretty hard with the Mario Kart, right?
We've been playing a lot recently, Kara and I, and we've actually got Jeremy and Shalene in our group too, and Michael actually just brought a home Switch not too long ago, so hopefully we'll get him involved. But we have a new little podcast for ASA Podcasting called ASA Pod Karting, where we play Mario Kart and just chat about strategy and then run a few competitive races. So it's really fun. Check it out, guys. Find it in iTunes. Just search for ASA Pod Karting. Thanks a lot.
And it's Pod Karting with a K, all one word, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
It is all one. But Andrew, you also have yet another podcast out now, don't you?
Yeah, my wife and I actually just started another podcast a couple weeks ago. We've got 2 episodes out. It is called Awesome Spaceship. So you can find us there at ASA Podcasting as well. Search in iTunes, Awesome Spaceship. It's just my wife and I talking about our everyday lives, and we have a couple of little different segments that we play. I ask her 3 kind of random questions that get conversation sparking, and then we play a little movie name game at the end. So it's just an excuse for my wife and I to sit down and enjoy each other's time. So if you'd like to hear that show, please check that out. It's Awesome Spaceship, also available on iTunes, asapodcasting.com.
Nice. Lovely. Well, cool. So let's jump
before we get too far in here. I wanted to say, if anybody hasn't listened to last week's episode, you guys knocked it out of the park with the Adam Clow interview.
Oh, nice.
It was an awesome episode.
It really was.
I feel like I was a little too
but you were walking on eggshells for sure.
I felt like I was also, sucking them off a little bit too. Like I'm a little too much of a fanboy. If you hear
so what? So what if you are?
Yeah.
Somebody does an awesome creative project like that, they deserve a little props.
Yeah, no, I really like your show. So if you need a little taste, go back and listen to our previous episode. I don't know what I entitled it. I think it was just Mind Fog meets Fallout Feed or something like that. So go check that episode out, and it's a good lead-in to hop into Mind Fog. And you can rip through – the episodes are 20, 30 minutes long, 15 sometimes. You can rip through that whole show in a day or 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But it is really, really, really well done. It's like it's like going back to playing Fallout 4 for the first time almost, because of the way he is playing through it and playing through it blind and leading it through the main quest line and a few side quests. But yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Troy. Appreciate the props there. I think Aaron was a terrific guest, great guy, and glad to have him on the show.
It was wonderful. Good to speak. Yeah. And we'll have him on again. Anytime he has a new episode come out and we're not doing spoilery Fallout 4 type stuff, we'll go ahead and bring him on so he can, promote his new episodes and stuff like that. I think it'd be fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So why don't we jump into what we're here tonight, which is the Fallout New Vegas Roundtable. So this is our first episode of actually doing a little bit of actual gameplay after rolling characters a couple weeks ago. Everybody's had a couple weeks to get characters started, play the tutorial quests, and get into the game a little bit. So maybe Kara, if you don't mind, we'll start with you. I thought we would kick off and just everybody do a quick recap of your character and let us know what special you roll, what your skills are, and then maybe tell us a little bit about what character concept you have built around your roundtable role. So, Kara, if you don't mind, maybe just jump in and let us know what your character's like.
Okay, are we going through specials and factions and such?
I think so. It's not a real long list.
That's true.
I think it's worth doing that, and then just kind of share your character name, and if you've got a character concept, maybe you're just kind of powering through the game, not thinking about concept, but maybe you've got a character backstory you want to share as well.
I just didn't want to start rambling with the numbers before we got into it.
wait, what show are we on, Kara? It's all about the ramble.
That's true. Okay, so for me, you guys had to roll for me because I wasn't feeling well or something that week. I got a male. I named him Loren, Loren. His faction is Yes Man. He started out with a special of 8, 7, 3, 6, 10, 1, and 5. My trait 1 is Loose Cannon. My second trait is None, which I was sad about, but I'm playing by the rules. Skill 1 is Lockpick, Skill 2 is Energy Weapons, and Skill 3 is Melee Weapons. And my companion will eventually be Boone, whomever that person is.
Nice.
So I decided that my character is kind of a loser and that he got his lockpicking skills because he, caused trouble when he was younger, and he was kind of into mechanical things when it came to like energy and melee weapons, that kind of thing. Figuring all that stuff out, but he never, he had potential, but he never really did anything with it. And so then he just ended up as the courier, because he didn't really do much with his life. But now he got shot in the head, and I don't know, maybe it knocks some things into place. Maybe it knocks them out of place. We'll see.
A little bit of both, maybe.
A little bit of both, yeah. I really liked the character creation with the psychological test, though. I thought that was kind of neat. Like, obviously, there are only so many different things that you can get as an outcome, but because I've only ever had Fallout 4's character creation, I thought this to me was, brand new, and I just thought, wow, this is a pretty nice way to kind of set up a character. And, once you know the system, you can play it however you want. And although I thought it was also nice that you could just change his answers at the end. He's like, now here's what I think. But what do you think? Even though I'm the expert here, you can adjust my assessments if you want.
Any way you want.
Yeah.
So there's what are there? There's 11 skills? Is it 11 or 13 skills? Anybody remember?
No.
So it says it's 11. So there's actually quite a lot, right? Because there's 11 skills. Let's pretend it's 11. It'd be even more if it's 13. I think it's 11. 11 skills. You're going to pick 3 of those to tag. So 11 choose 3. That's a pretty big number. That's 11 times 99, 450, like 495 combinations. If I did the math right. So there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot there in the goat. The goat can take you a lot of different directions.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it for my character creation.
All right. Well, cool. So, all right. So let's go ahead and step through everybody's characters, and then we'll start talking a little bit about some of the other things we're doing. And Kara, jump back in if you think of things. We definitely I think it's I think the for me it felt I think New Vegas we specified less with the characters than we did in Fallout 4. I think with Fallout 4 we did a settlement and we did a romantic interest. I mean, I think that's some of the stuff that mechanically New Vegas doesn't have. So there's not quite as much there. But I think as we begin to sort of talk about our gameplay and how we're playing through the quests and everything else, we'll should be able to get some interesting stuff built out there. So so Andrew, tell us what about your character?
I have a lady named Peretti. I think I said last time I generally like to name my characters after podcasters and comedians that I like. Chelsea Peretti is one of my favorites stand-up comedians, and she's actually on Brooklyn Nine-Nine now. If you've ever seen that show, she plays the character.
Which character is she on that show?
Gina, the secretary.
Okay.
Yeah,
she's great. Yeah, I like her.
She's hilarious. I really like her a lot. So I've got my character Peretti, female NCR. We got a special of 7, 4, 5. 9 is the charisma. 2 intelligence. That's already fucked me a couple of times where I haven't been intelligent enough to get.
It's so fun being stupid in this game, though. There's so many good options.
I need to start using the stupid dialogue more.
Oh, totally. That's the best.
My top skill is agility at 10, which is good because that affects guns in this game, and luck down at 3. Traits. Wild Wasteland and 4 Eyes. 4 Eyes is has to do with your perception level. If you're not wearing glasses, it takes away perception. If you have glasses on, it adds perception. And Wild Wasteland, I've not yet seen any actual evidence of yet. I don't think it's obvious, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much is in the main quest line.
Okay.
If you don't start encountering some, we may have to send you off on a mission to be our Wild Wasteland guinea pig, because there's a couple things that are obvious. And there's probably maybe roughly a dozen or so Wild Wasteland events / places or whatever. Some are quite obvious. Yeah, some are not that obvious. So hopefully you'll find some on your own. I mean that's actually the best thing. It's just stumbling across. I've
just recently started going out into the wasteland and sort of stumbling around, so hopefully that'll make it pop up a little more. You know,
that's one thing I found.
I did my assigned stuff. I said I did my assigned stuff, so I'm just starting to sort of like randomly go out and see what I can find. You know.
Yeah, I think the one thing about New Vegas is there are definitely some areas that while there is leveling of the game, I don't think it's quite as level friendly as Fallout 4 is. I mean, there are definitely areas that you just do not want to go until you've leveled up.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's true a little bit in 4 as well. But I think 4 generally, like the monsters level more, I think, than they do in New Vegas and in Fallout 3. So
one of the main differences is you get access to high level gear pretty early on in 4, so you have gear to fight higher level.
Yeah.
I mean, they give you that power armor and that minigun immediately, and then make you fight a Deathclaw like 2 seconds later. And
which that's something, Andrew. I mean, you might not have, since 4 was your first game, but the fact that your first boss is a freaking Deathclaw, to somebody come into this game from the earlier series, that is just because you don't get Deathclaws until such late game. There's such late game monsters in the other games.
I just ran into my first Deathclaw ever in New Vegas.
Was it a baby?
It was blind.
Ooh.
And I was like, holy shit, I haven't even run into a Deathclaw ever, and I'm already... Is blind a leveled? Or I don't know how they work in New Vegas. Is that a...
I think...
Is that
I'm trying to remember. Where does Ray or Kara, do you guys remember? The blind one is a special one, I think. I don't...
Oh, is it?
I don't think I've ever came across a blind one.
I know I have it. I'm trying to remember where it pops up.
You want to know? I can tell you. Is it a spoil? Are we worried about spoilers at all?
No shit. It's an 8-year-old game. I think we are spoiler free.
Yeah. Prim Pass is where I ran into it. If you go to Prim and then head directly east, there's a break in the mountains to get you to an NCR base directly through that mountain ridge, and there's a blind Deathclaw, and that motherfucker's not blind because I was crouching sneaking and he saw me from like half a mile away.
Well, that's what I don't remember kind of like if there's backstory or anything, but I remember he is incredibly perceptive. That blind Deathclaw, yeah.
I was
kind of like the blind super mutant in Fallout 4.
I was about to say, have you ever heard of Daredevil?
Yeah, he's got that crazy. I don't even see. I haven't read it, so I don't know what they refer to it as. But that crazy, like perceptive sense, whatever.
Yeah. Did you notice that he was using a walking cane or anything? Like, was there a detail you just missed here?
Who, the Deathclaw using a walking?
Yeah. Yeah, the Deathclaw might have been the Deathclaw version of not Deadpool. My goodness, Daredevil.
Was Carmen Electra there?
She might have been. You were the one who experienced this. I don't know.
Ben Affleck?
It would be Electra, not Carmen Electra.
Carmen Electra played. We just looked that up. My wife and I looked that up the other day. Carmen Electra totally played Electra though in those terrible movies. Crickets.
I'm trying to remember.
The blind Deathclaw is a level 20 Deathclaw.
Oh wow!
He whipped my ass
with a perception of 8.
Yeah, he smelled me. I guess he smelled me, or has Deadpool? No, what'd you say?
Daredevil. Daredevil's he's got the sonar thing plus his like he can read by touching like the ink with his fingertips, even through his Daredevil gloves. He's got like super sensitive fingertips.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he can read the ink on a page with his fingertips.
Yeah.
And he's a lawyer too, right? So you don't F with him, right? He's like if he doesn't beat you up, he will sue your ass.
What a coincidence that Deathclaw was a lawyer too.
So he had a little briefcase.
Deathclaw lawyer.
Unfrozen Deathclaw lawyer. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm just a poor Deathclaw.
You're a strange world. Confuses and frightens me.
Strange world confuses me.
So on that note, speaking of confusion, Ray, what was your character role and concept?
I didn't go over my skills, but real quick, what was the difference of traits and skills again? I still don't understand why they make a distinction between the two.
Oh, they're completely. The mechanics are completely different. So skills are your. Let's say it's either 11 or 13. I think your core. Call them attributes generically that determine how good your character is at the shit in the game, lock picking, computer hacking, guns, etc. And you advance those over the course of the game from starting out at as low as 1 or 2 or 3. Like I've got a bunch of skills for my character that are 4. You start as low as 4, and then you march those up to as much as 100 over the course of the game. And that determines, and you get skill points throughout the game when you advance your skills. Traits are like one-time advantage/disadvantages that happen at character creation. Think about it as the skills are core game mechanics that you really have to advance to build your character. The traits are more kind of optional, almost like flavor text that you can do. So if we weren't doing a roundtable, then everybody could sort of pick a trait or not pick a trait just based on how you want your character to react. And the traits are much smaller. They're sort of one-off things that happen one time, and give your character kind of a little shove in a direction of character creation.
Yeah. I had survival, speech, and medicine as my skills. I'm really interested in actually giving a go at doing survival. Like in Fallout 4, I'd always say, yes, I'm collecting all these ingredients for a reason, but I never ever used them, never cooked or anything.
So are you playing hardcore mode?
No, I am not.
If you're gonna, I would say if you're gonna, well, I don't know, it's a tough call because on the one hand, you almost don't want to do hardcore for your first playthrough because it adds some complexity.
Yeah.
But the survival skill meshes really well with a hardcore playthrough. So it's and by the way, hardcore in New Vegas works differently. You can be playing hardcore, but you don't have to play on the hardest game difficulty level.
Oh, I don't.
So okay. Hardcore in New Vegas, hardcore means that you have survival mechanics like sleep and food and water, just similar to survival mode in Fallout 4, but you can still fast travel. You can still you don't have the restrictions that survival mode puts on, and
you can still change the difficulty level too.
And you can still play you can play on easy, normal, very easy, or whatever, and still be hardcore.
That actually sounds nice. I might try that out.
I think hardcore is strongly recommend that at some point you try a hardcore playthrough. But I mean, I don't necessarily say you should go to your very first one, because it definitely adds complexity.
But the only thing about survival so far is that I'm finding the ingredients, especially plants, impossible to find. Everything's the same damn color.
Yeah,
I can't find anything.
It is tricky, and there's a lot of plants that aren't ingredients.
Yeah. Oh, there's ones that aren't ingredients too.
Well, there's like a lot of the just generic plants that you see, like running around the wasteland. You can't actually pick them. And that's not Fallout 4 is the same way. I mean, there's plenty of plants that you can't pick.
Yeah, but they're the ones that you can pick will be useful, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Something. Right, yeah,
so I'm gonna try to jump into survival and like do the things where you cook the stuff, you make the health potion, not health potions. What's it called?
Healing powder.
Healing powder. So I want to try to do that really well and like have food prepared and like, take this before you go into fight. So you have your HP regenerating and, like Dennis. Like I want to play like Dennis plays. You know what I mean?
Such a power gamer.
And Rex is my companion.
He's a good dog.
So that's right now. I'm actually at the, I'm working on my Elvis impression, baby. And, getting Rex right now.
So you what's your character? Do you have a particular concept for Panchetta? What's her name?
Peretti.
Peretti. Okay.
Yeah. Not Italian bacon.
Me. I'm not a huge role player backstory type of guy. She just got shot in the head and she woke up. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't know where she is. She doesn't have a back memory of any of this.
That's okay. Yeah, that's a good thing about the courier.
She's amnesiac.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just playing it as it is, roaming around, having fun with it.
Cool.
And I haven't. I assume at some point they'll flash you the sign you're about to become enemies with the Legion. You're about to become enemies with House.
No, that happens a long time. You got a long time before that happens.
So I'm just walking around and no one's attacking me yet, except for a few different groups now. But like I'm hanging out with the Powder Gangers. I'm hanging out with NCR. I even talked to some Legion guys, and they creeped me out a little bit, but they didn't attack me or anything. So
yeah.
No, it's fun. Running around.
You got a lot. I mean, you can optionally start making enemies as soon as you want to, but you're not going to be forced to make enemies for a long time.
Kill one Legion soldier, will they forever attack me on sight?
Nope. It takes more Legion murdering than that to get them to attack you on sight.
Oh, really? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
No.
I've been
avoiding that just in case.
You don't get the point of irrevocability for a long time, but you do get warnings. If you start murdering Legionnaires, you will eventually become, what is it, shunned? No, not shunned. I forget what the worst, loathed or whatever it is.
Yeah. I was hidden and crouching, and no one could see me, and I stole something, and my fame still went down. If no one sees you, how can they judge you like that?
They knew you were creeping around over there. Next time they went over there to pick up that toolbox, hey, shit, my duct tape's gone. Yeah. That bitch Peretti must have stole it.
I still don't know how this karma stuff works. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Games. Yeah. I know it's a common mechanic, but I've never played a game that has a lot of karma stuff to it.
You can do the whole game with good, neutral, evil karma. It doesn't stop you from doing any. You can be evil and still play with the quote unquote good guys if that's the way you want to play it. So.
And speech and medicine were my other two, and so medicine's totally useful. Speech also totally useful, but I'm gonna try to force myself to use survival. So.
And you can still make all the recipes and stuff that you would, regardless of whether you're playing hardcore or not. It's just they're a little bit more directly useful if you're doing hardcore.
Sweet. All right.
So Ray, what was your role?
So my role was a male, strength of 5, perception 3, endurance 3, charisma 7, intelligence 8, agility 6, and luck 8. So no traits, and my tags are guns, repair, and survival. And then my follower is Lily, side of the Caesar's Legion. So
your character came out pretty balanced. You didn't have a 9 or a 1 or a 2 or a 10.
So yeah, the only thing I'll do is I'll do a little intense training and get my endurance up a little bit.
Yeah, that's you and me both.
So character name is Coyote, and he's just a consummate desert drifter. So he is, he's not picking fights with anybody at this point.
Okay. So, all right. So maybe I'll roll into my character then, just to close out for tonight. We had close out the character discussion. So I rolled a female who is going to side with Mr. House as her faction. Special for her are 9218866. So mine was a little more min-max than Ray's. I got the good nature trait and the small frame trait. Skills were tagged as science, repair, and speech. And I also picked up Lily Bowen as my companion. I decided to name her after a character in the Twin Peaks revival. She's Janie E. Jones is the character's name. I made her, tried to make her look a little bit like Naomi Watts, who plays Janie E. on Twin Peaks. She, I'm playing her as a character who grew up in another Nevada town, say maybe Reno or something, and she got out of that town and got on with the Mojave. What's the courier service's name? Mojave, whatever. Or the name of there's a courier company. She's rolling with that courier company, and on her very first courier job, she got jumped by this bastard Benny, and she is pissed off and looking for revenge. So that's how I'm going to play her over the course of her adventures in the wasteland.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I was a little disappointed to get speech, because that was a big thing for Arthur Many Vegas Let's Play, but definitely glad to get a character who is intelligent and can play a little bit differently from Arthur. Ray, I'm the same as you. I plan to do a little bit of intense training and to get endurance, because endurance of 1 is doubly harmful in this game, because of course you want good endurance just in general, but also your natural endurance determines how many implants you can buy. And so having a low endurance means that you have less flexibility to bump your other specials up through buying the implants later in the game. So Andrew, your endurance of 5 gives you a lot of flexibility to go buy more implants and get your special bumped up.
I need to figure out what an implant is.
Yeah. You will eventually find the New Vegas Medical Clinic, and all will be clear to you. Or you can just go cheat and look it up, whichever. But
I assume it's like Kellogg, right?
I guess in a way, yeah.
Oh, sounds like we're in for something interesting.
Turn you into a creepy robot-loving cyborg or anything. It's
how does
the implant mechanic is so in Fallout 3 and in 4 you get a bobblehead, and that gives you a skill boost or whatever. But there are no bobbleheads in New Vegas, so the implant is the mechanic for boosting your special.
Why do you think they went away from that?
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a theme, and they replaced the bobbleheads with a themed idea, the snow globes. So it's not like they didn't replace it with something. It's just they just went a different. I think that's an example of what something that Obsidian did different from Bethesda, right?
Just wondering.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I've never known kind of why. I never even really thought about it, but it actually is a good question. Yeah.
Well, maybe it has something to do with like, I mean, when you're collecting bobbleheads, it is like they even give you the ability to build like a little stand for your little collection, and I feel like that's kind of speaking directly to a great majority of their players who probably really like to collect bits and pieces from Fallout memorabilia. And maybe some people didn't want to modify their characters in that way, like technically.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
But I could just be talking out my ass here.
That's a thought, though. I mean, I actually had no idea if bobbleheads existed in 1 or 2. I've never, I don't know if they exist or if they were introduced purely in 3. Bolt Boy was around, I think, but I don't know if the concept of a bobblehead was or not. Okay, so those are their characters, and Denny was not able to join the show tonight, so hopefully he'll be able to jump on next time, and we'll let him walk through his character when he's able to join. So I thought before we started talking about our gameplay that we could maybe just spend a second talking about those of us that are playing on PC, talk about the mods we're using, or Andrew, if you've got any sort of technical impressions from playing on Xbox, anything you'd want to share in terms of differences or whatever. So I have a pretty short mod list. Let me just jump into mine. I have EVE, Essential Visual Enhancements. I've got the interior lighting overhaul. And then I've got a texture pack. It's NMC's texture pack, and it actually has 5 different components to fully load the NMC's texture pack. And then I also did, I found a mod called Runner that is actually pretty slick. It adds a run feature to your character because there is no sprinting in New Vegas without a mod. And so this runner mod actually automatically speeds up your character based on how far off in the distance you're looking. So you don't have to press a key or anything. If you look off in the distance, you run a little bit faster. If you look at an object that's closer to you, you run slower. It's actually pretty cool.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I thought I was just dumb. I was like, how do I run?
No sprinting. Yeah, no sprinting. The one thing this mod seems to work very well. You can turn it off in interiors. So if you don't want to run in an interior space, you can turn it off. But you do have to load the mod configuration menu and the script extender, which is not hard, but it does require a little bit of manual configuration for the script extender. And then the mod configuration menu is my last mod. So pretty short mod list for me. But just mostly the visual thing. The runner mod is really the one thing I've done that's kind of the gameplay, and I actually find it really helpful because there's a lot of running in New Vegas in the early stages as you're finding your fast travel points. So, Kara, are you running any mods on your installation?
Absolutely not. First time through has got to be vanilla. I need to taste it as it is.
That's not a bad call.
Although I wouldn't mind that running mod.
No, it's actually highly recommended. It's so far it's worked out really well for me.
Yeah, I really did think that I was just dumb. I was like, okay, why does shift make me go slower? That doesn't make any sense. What the hell?
Yeah.
I keep trying to hit Q to get VATS, and that's not working out.
Yeah. Now you can remap, of course. I mean, I've actually thought about that. I'm using a controller, but I thought about remapping my key because the bats and third person buttons are switched around, and that drives me nuts.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, well, and the Q key will make you run off the side of a cliff.
Is it strafe? Is that what it is?
No, it's the continuous walking.
Oh, it's auto walk. That's right. Yeah.
Auto walk. Wow.
Yeah.
So So I went ahead and turned off interiors because I was still getting a little bit of stuttering. So I turned that one off. So I still have Electro City, which has the light poles, and the guys working on them. Better smoke and ballistics. I used the easy hacking for the first time. That one, if you're qualified to access a terminal, it goes through the whole sequence and everything, and except that it fills the screen with gibberish except for one word, and that's the password.
Oh, nice.
So, what else am I running? I haven't used it yet, but I've got a mod that puts weapon mod vending machines around the wasteland in different places. So it jacks the prices up. So it's not a convenient cheat, but it definitely is. It gives you an easier place to find mods at.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because mods are very unpredictable.
Yeah.
You never know if you're going to get the set of mods that you want for your weapons.
I'm using the handheld Pip-Boy, but oddly enough, so your sleeve is still rolled up so that your forearm's bare, even though you've got this handheld Pip-Boy.
Well, why the handheld Pip-Boy?
Just for something different.
Nice.
Because I can.
Yeah. Do you have a super long list? Did you have like over?
Well, let's see. Well, how many do I have currently active? 1, 2, 3. I'll get back to you on that.
No. Play the counting game. Michelle in the YouTube chat has been bringing up great point after great point.
As Michelle will.
Yeah, he calls Ray a cheater. Maybe it was Pat for the running mod, I guess. He said it's way more logical to improve your skills from reading a book than by finding a bobblehead. So I think that's a good point. Michelle also running in a desert like the Mojave would get you super dehydrated quite fast. Yeah, so you don't want to run in the Mojave. I don't know. But it would be nice to be able to run away from that death claw who just smacks me around. Yeah. So yeah, of course I'm not using any mods, but I have a nice stable game. It's been fun. I haven't crashed ever yet.
How are your load screens on Xbox One?
Oh God, it's like 2-3 seconds.
No, okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, because the original game, and I think we've talked about this before, is really, really buggy. I think it eventually got patched into being probably as stable as any other open world game. But the original installation of New Vegas on at least on the Xbox 360 was crazy buggy.
My PS4 or my PS3 experience was absolutely terrible. I tried to do a quick run through on my PS3 before we started, and the game wouldn't let me. It was just so buggy and crazy. But
one of the mods that I use changes the saving system, so it does a lot more automatic saving because the game. I mean, it usually crashes on me a couple of times every play session.
Yeah. And that's the nature of the beast of modding or this game.
I think it's Windows. What version of Windows are you running, Ray?
10.
Yeah, see, I think it's Windows 10.
I used to have the same problem on an XP.
See, I never had. I didn't have issues Actually, I didn't have issues on Windows 10 until I started pushing out some of these recent updates. That creator update for Windows 10, I would crash. I'll go through phases where I'll crash 10 times in 15 minutes, and then I'll do a restart, and I can play 2 or 3 hours without a crash. And so, but it's not a clean, like always a restart will clean it out. Sometimes it'll be the restart and I'll still keep crashing. So it's that for me, I think it was Windows 10, the creator update that they just pushed out that really seemed to screw my game up.
Xbox One, nice and stable. I suggest it.
Yeah. I played hundreds and hundreds of hours on the 360. Yeah.
Nice.
Not gonna happen.
I was going to make the point that I've been playing a lot of Switch recently, so that it has very cartoony style graphics. So when I was going to go back and play my New Vegas character assigned quests, I was like, okay, here we go. These graphics are going to be super shitty. And all right, okay, let's get back into New Vegas mode in my mind. And then I popped it in, and I was like, stepping out into the desert, I was like, wow, this actually looks really fucking great. And I don't know if it got like a big graphics upscale with the Xbox One over the PlayStation 3 version that I recognize, but it's pretty, it's not lifelike, of course, by any stretch of the imagination, but graphically it's not nearly as jarring as I originally thought it would be.
Yeah, it's honestly really good. It looks good. Like for its platform, so on and so forth. And by platform, I just mean like for whichever system you're using, because when I turned it on and I started looking through it, I was pretty impressed too. I expected, I was like, all right, so how polygonal are we going to go? And I wasn't taking the time it was created into consideration. I like watching the mouth moving though when they're talking.
There's no it's no Oblivion though, right? It's much. There's no potato heads or anything.
Exactly. No, yeah. But it's. I'm just saying it's made a mark on me. It's nice.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
So maybe then we can jump into gameplay. And of course, this first session we were doing the tutorial quest. And again, unfortunately, I'm on my iPad, so I can't pull up the exact quest names. I don't know if anybody has those right in front of us. The three tutorial quest names.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Yep. Ain't that head?
Yeah.
Back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle again is one of them, but also by a campfire on the trail.
On the trail.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Kara. So yeah. So that's just, and I think you'll see a lot of. There's a clear theme that will emerge here. Is many of the quest names are song title related. Ain't that a kick in the head? And there's a whole Elvis sub theme, and there's just a lot of very highly musical themed quest names as we go through the playthrough.
Nice. You'll have to point those out to me.
You should, if you're playing the Kings, every one of the ones related to the Kings is
an Elvis song. I have knowledge of the Elvis discography besides his super famous hits and stuff. Yeah. I don't know Elvis very well, so I'm not getting any of these references.
Yeah, that's the Kings. Well, I guess it's not a sign, so it's not really getting the head. But I mean, the Kings. There's Las Vegas Elvis. There's Jailhouse Rock Elvis. There's
I noticed that.
There's all the different Elvi are represented in the Kings.
Elvi,
Breezer Elvis, and everything else.
Yeah. I like those.
So Andrew, maybe you want to. So you're a first timer. What was it like? What did you think of the starter quest and the couple of tutorials that we had for tonight?
No, I find them pretty useful. With all the Elder Scrolls, when you start in this dungeon, you crawl out, and then they teach you how to do a few things. I found that the intro to this game was really interesting. How they built the character, like how Kara was remarking earlier with the psychological test and the ink blot test and the the Vitomatic, or however you pronounce that, the
Vigor tester,
the vigor tester thing over there. I always thought that was a really interesting way to build your character. I thought that was really interesting. The character creator itself is a little wanting, but then again, I'm not one to spend a ton of time designing my the character, how they look, and especially in this game where you can't swing the camera around to see your character's face. You have to wait till it goes to the sort of like idle screen where the camera will start swinging around you. You can't take a selfie in this game very easily. So there's no point in spending a lot of time designing what your character looks like. I always just pick a one of the pre-established faces there.
Minor thing for me is I like being able to do like crazy hair colors, like bright green, red, and purple hair and stuff like that they did not add to Fallout 4, at least not the vanilla Fallout 4.
You ever do the Children of Adam style, like hair falling out, bright color?
No, that creeps me out. I can't deal with that.
Yeah, the hairstyle's crazy. But for Ain't That a Kick in the Head, it was just basically you wake up in Doc Mitchell and he explains to you what's been going on this whole time. And then you pick your parents. You go through the character creator. Then you do your specials through the vigor tester thing, and you choose your tag skills and traits. All of that all at the same time. Receive the possessions from Doc Mitchell as you're leaving. He gives you a bunch of stuff like a vault suit and the Pip Boy. Why does he give you the Pip Boy?
He just says that he thinks he's not using it anymore, but he thinks you might find it.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy.
He grew up in Vault 21 or something.
13.
He does tell you the number. I forget which number it is. It's the one that's in New Vegas.
But he grew up in a vault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun. So yeah, it was a cool way to create a character, and that's the end of that quest. As you walk out the front door, he tells you something about his wife too. I thought, what does he tell you about his wife? I don't remember. But
I'm also blanking on that one.
Yeah, were you a female character?
Yeah,
you are. So, he gives you her vault suit.
Oh, okay, because of my hips.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, so that ends the quest as you walk out the door after you get all that stuff. And tell me again, the ink blot test, what effect does that actually have that determines your skills? But you can alter them before you cement that down, right?
Yeah, you do go through his little psychological test, and it gives you your 3 tag skills.
Okay.
But you the ones by that default, but you can change it whatever.
And I think as you step out the door, it gives you the chance to change your face again. I think it gives you a chance to alter stuff again before
it's not when you step out the door; it's when you leave the Good Springs area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I did
when you're kind of out of the tutorial zone.
Yeah, it's just like when you're trying to leave the vault in Fallout 4, they give you that one last chance. Do you want to change anything?
Yeah.
So yeah. That was my experience there with Ain't That a Kick in the Head, and we've got Back in the Saddle next.
Yeah. So anybody else from Kick in the Head? I think I'm like Andrew. I like I think Doc Mitchell's great. He lets you steal all the shit in his house. He's
yeah. That's awesome. You got to go through and completely clean him out.
Oh no, that was great. He had
he's got all kind of stuff in his house. It's all you can take it all.
What? But it's marked red.
No, not Doc Mitchell stuff.
It wasn't. It was for me. It was red.
What did you do?
I don't know.
He hates you.
Probably, but he was so nice.
I have my 4 eyes. I have my 4 eyes tag or trait, which means I need to be wearing glasses and not to keep my perception up. And there are a pair of glasses on a desk in there if anyone wants to take that 4 eyes trait. Find a pair of glasses in there before you leave.
Yeah.
It just still boggles my mind. You're taking so much stuff from the man who's already giving you stuff and help save your life.
He says help yourself.
Yeah. He's down with it. It's fine. And he's very when you go back to have him fix you up, he costs 50 caps. He's very expensive. You know, that's all it goes. Now I think on an inflation adjusted basis, he may still be cheaper than because I think caps are a lot more plentiful in New Vegas than they are in Fallout 4.
Did he charge you for his initial services of saving your life?
Well, you don't know, right? He might have robbed you blind. You might have had thousands of caps in your pocket.
Yeah, I don't remember having caps in your inventory when you first wake up and stuff. Like a lot of stuff showed up in your inventory.
You don't have pockets.
That's true. You're in your skivvies.
In your skivvies, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, all this stuff from the packs, the things you get, like the tribal stuff and the throwing spears and all that. That was not in the original game. The original game, you got a pack depending on which company you ordered your game from. Amazon was one thing, GameStop was another thing.
That's cool.
Packs. Yeah. And then when they started doing the Game of the Year editions or the full Steam editions, you got everything.
And they load you up when you.
Oh yeah. It's a really good starter set of stuff.
You get all that stuff. I on purpose did not load the DLC disc, so I didn't have all that stuff right at the beginning. I just wanted to run through it.
Ooh, that's hardcore, man.
I didn't want all that extra gear.
Yeah. Now I have my favorite. I like the lightweight leather armor and either the grenade launcher or the shotgun that you get are my favorite things to start out with.
No, that weathered 10 mil is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's true. Good call. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, weather 10 mil is a really good pistol. Agreed. Yeah.
I really liked the weapon handling requirements. Like, I felt like this version of the game really sets you up very well with like, okay, here's what you got, but it was a lot of information at once. Here's how to do it. But I enjoyed reading about weapon handling requirements, like, strength requirement not met equals like your aim will wobble or something like that for a certain weapon or another. I thought that was pretty clever, and a nice mechanic to put in there.
Yeah.
And it also makes me feel like I need to be more attentive with the reality of having to switch out my ammo subtype depending upon what weapon I'm using. Or is that an automatic thing? Because they made it sound like you had to pay attention and press 1 or 2 or something like that.
When you switch a weapon, it will give you an appropriate ammo type automatically. But because there's the different ammo types, you do have to pay attention because, for example, I'm using the shotgun right now, and if you're fighting robots, the pulse slugs for the shotgun are amazing. They're so good against robots, but you don't want to use them against regular people because they're very rare and expensive. You want to save them for the robots.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just you switch to a gun, and as long as you've got the base ammo, it's going to automatically load it. But if you start playing around with the different ammo types, you want to make sure you're paying attention because like for example, like the hollow point weapons for the hollow point bullets for guns. I forget whether it's good against. I forget what the game mechanic is for the hollow points, but you want to be that's not something you want to use against every enemy because it's only good against certain things.
Yeah, like they don't pierce armor because they're hollow. I remember that much. So like if you're going up against a weaponed or a well armored person, you probably won't want to use a hollow point.
Yeah.
On the animals.
Or I believe they're good against unarmored humans as well. But they do more, so this is where the mechanic is different. Like New Vegas has the damage threshold, which is similar but different from armor. It doesn't the numbers are a lot lower. Like in Fallout 4, you'll have 1,000 armor or hundreds of armor, whereas in Fallout New Vegas, like a damage threshold of 10 is really good. And you'll have a damage threshold. Maybe it gets up to 20 if you're really fully tricked out. With all the perks and everything else. So you have to think about it totally different numbers, and you can see your damage threshold either for yourself or for enemies kicking in. When I don't know if you guys noticed the little shield icon that will pop up sometimes.
Yeah, I just started noticing that. Yeah.
That means the enemy, if it pops up when you're shooting, it means the enemy has soaked your damage with his damage threshold.
Mm.
So the damage threshold is kicking in and keeping you
from I was attacking something with my knife. I was a dude, and he kept like blocking it. So I thought that the shield meant he was blocked because it kept popping up every time I would swipe, and he would block my hit. I thought that it was indicating his block. So it just means that his damage resistance is higher than my output.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really doing any damage to him.
And Fallout 4 has some of this, and like Fallout 4 has damage per second, but it doesn't sort of explicitly tell you about it on the screen like it does in New Vegas. So like if you're trying to compare a weapon to like two similar guns in Fallout New Vegas, you can look at the DPS and that'll tell you which one does more damage per second. DPS is more important than just raw damage.
Yeah.
And but then Andrew, you're talking about sort of the tutorial stuff that you bounce into, and it starts. I agree. I think it's you meet up Sunny Smiles there in Good Springs, and she marches you through some of the basics of the game.
So Back in the Saddle kicks off, and you're supposed to go off and talk to Sunny Smiles at the saloon. What's it called? The Prospector Saloon, I think.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So you walk in there. First impressions. You walk in and like the screen immediately grabs you. You can't like walk around or anything. And you talk to her. She's got like a dog named Cheyenne, I believe, and make some clever jokes about Cheyenne ripping your face off if you make any wrong moves or something. But she, I don't even know. You go out and she teaches you to shoot something. Is there anything important in what she says when you're talking to her there inside?
Well, no. It's definitely very tutorial in nature. She explains how to use a lockpick and how to use the magazine mechanic, and how can you make some money. There's a lot of very basic stuff. You can pick it up. You can ignore her completely and still pick it up, but she does explain some stuff that's important for you to know.
I should maybe listen to her on that magazine thing. I haven't started using those yet. I need to figure out how those work. Those are like temporary, like
temporary boosts. Yeah, I found that out the hard way.
Yeah,
because I thought it was like the Fallout 4 mechanic. No,
they're more like chems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's no downside. There's no bad effects.
Yeah. Then she offers to show me how to survive in the wasteland at some point, so I take her up on that offer. She teaches me how to shoot out back. She's got 6 empty bottles set up across a little fence. We take a few pops and knock 3 of those down, and she says, "Ooh, great job." She gives you a varmint rifle or something.
Rifle, yeah.
So you have your rifle, and she then says that she is going to head off and clear out some geckos by the water spigots, the water wells. So she asks if you'd like to accompany her. Yeah, they give you the option of like no quit tutorial a few different times throughout this. So that's nice that they don't make you go through this if you don't want to. But I of course did. Pat, you've probably played this game 100 times. Do you go through this ever?
Yeah, usually. And there's actually a very specific reason to. And Andrew, you may not have fully kind of gotten this since it's your first time through, but there's the game mechanic of getting liked, hated,
reputation,
loved, idolized, for the different factions.
Oh, okay.
The only way to get idolized in Good Springs is to do the tutorial quest and rescue the settler down by the well, by the Good Springs water source. If you don't rescue her, you can't get to idolized in Good Springs.
She was dead by the time I showed up, man.
Oh, snap. You've ruined everything. You'll never be idolized now.
It was the same for me. Like I actually lost. I wasn't really used to the directional system and so on and so forth. And so I actually lost Sunny, and she kind of did well number 3 all by herself. And I was like, okay, oh crap, there's someone dead. And I looked up. I looted the body, of course, because why not? But then I looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, you could have saved her. Oh crap.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even realize something was happening there.
Yeah. She was chomped to death by geckos. So that's Andrew. That's why I don't always do the the second one. What is it? By a campfire, by a road, or whatever. She gives you like a little basic lesson on how to do this, the crafting mechanic.
Yeah, right after you clear out the geckos from to do 3 different wells, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
She gives you 50 caps, which is nice. You earn 50 experience points, and then offers to teach you a little bit of survival skills as well. Meaning she wants to teach you how to cook a healing powder. What you have to do is you go find your Brock flower over at the Good Spring Cemetery, I believe, and there's a bunch of bloatflies up there. I really like the bloatfly design. I think I might like the bloatfly design in New Vegas more than 4.
No, they're grosser in New Vegas. No. I hate them.
They don't explode quite as nicely either.
I hadn't noticed. Do they shoot the little
maggots
in your face? Do they do that?
I thought one shot something at me.
I never thought it was larva in New Vegas. I thought it was just sort of like miscellaneous goo or something. Yeah. Whereas in 4 you can actually see, especially if you like get a cut scene, you can actually see
wiggle it in you,
like embedding itself in the face or whatever. Yeah, it's really gross in 4.
That is super gross.
Yeah.
But you show up there, you get some Brock flower up at the cemetery. Can you pick
up? What
else
do you find up there?
I don't know. Is there a shovel and stuff? I don't know. What else do you find there, right?
That's down by one of the wells.
Down by one. Yeah, you got to keep your eye open for it.
Or you can buy one. You can buy them for the vendors too.
Down by one of the wells, you find a shovel, and what can you dig up at the grave? You're supposed to dig something up there. I haven't actually gone to do it. What's up there?
Yeah, there's some decent loot.
Yeah, like ammo and stuff, or
yeah, just a bunch of a couple, like a Radaway and some ammo.
You guys need to tell me what is the actual useful stuff to pick up, because what do I need to fix Eddie? Because there's very little other crafting in the game. Do you use the scrap metal to craft?
Eddie is 3. So weapon repair kits are very useful because you have to repair your weapons.
Yeah, I haven't found too many of those. Can I make those in survival? Is that one of my perks?
You can make those. You can make those in any mode. I think you might have to have repair or something like 30 or something, but it's not. They're not. No, I think actually you have to repair 50 to make weapon repair kits. And it's 2 scrap metal, 2 scrap electronics, a wrench, a wonder glue, and a duct tape.
God damn, that's a big list there, shopping list.
But there's lots and lots of all those things. Those are all really common.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I make always, because you regardless of whether you're doing hardcore or easy or very easy or normal, you have to keep your weapons repaired. So I obsess about weapon repair kits. You can also make doctor's bags if you pick up like surgical tubing and medical braces and crutches and crap like
that. Just fit your crutch right in that bag, man. Just pop it in.
So some of the junk is useful, but a
lot of it is useful for for very specific things. So it's not like 4 where like every piece of junk has some use. I guess except burnt magazines.
Except for folders.
Folders and burnt magazines. Yeah.
Like Michelle pointed out, a folder in his eyes just looks like a cap.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's basically all they're worth.
They have 0 weight and they're worth 1 cap, so it's free.
Good point. I get frustrated with them because you can't craft with them. them, so I typically don't pick up folders.
Free money.
Yeah. And so, Andrew, you're asking so those are a few things that are valuable. The other thing, especially if you're not playing in survival, is pick all just like in Fallout 4, ammo is basically another form of currency.
Yep.
Pick up all the ammo and hang on to it and sell it.
Yeah, I also didn't know what was useful and what wasn't, but I did notice that I was reaching my weight limit very quickly, so then I just started storing a whole bunch of my stuff in these 2 boxes that I found.
What?
And then I found the work tables, and I was like, okay, do I store my stuff in the work tables or just I guess
I think they
Sorry, go ahead.
use these mailboxes or something, Kara. I don't know how they work yet, but aren't you supposed to use these mailboxes for storage?
You can use they're not for storage, they're for sending stuff. You can send yourself a package. There's about half a dozen of them at various locations, and you can put objects in them and they get Pony Express to the other locations.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to move something from Prim to Good Springs,
you have to determine it when you're putting the item in, or it doesn't matter where you check it.
No, you have to find them, and then once you have at least 2, you can start moving them back and forth. And when you put an object in the mailbox, it'll say where you want to send it.
Where do you want? Okay, you have to determine. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are specific mailboxes, right? Because like there's mailboxes all over Good Springs.
Oh yeah. They're actually they're the blue like package boxes. They look like a FedEx drop box.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're blue and they say Mojave
Express or something.
Mojave Express. Yeah. And there's one in the general store in Good Springs. That's the first one you see, and then you find them in Prim and a few other places.
Yeah, one mod that I'm really enjoying. And if you don't have this one, Pat, you might want to grab it. It's the Fallout 4 Quick Loot.
Oh yeah.
And I was a little bit worried because when I was in Doc Mitchell's house, it wasn't working. But as soon as I went outside and started going around town, it just pops right up. It's so much easier.
What's a Quick Loot do for you?
Like in Fallout 4, where you just walk up to a container and it shows you everything that's in it.
Oh, that's yeah. That'd be useful.
And then you can take what you want out of off that list, so you don't have to wait for the animation to open the whatever container it is and show you what's inside.
Can I turn off my kill screens? I don't like the kill screens in New Vegas very much.
You can, yeah. You go to
settings. Yeah. Okay, I'll go find that.
It's in the gameplay, I think.
Yeah.
And it could be cinematic, off, or player view or something like that.
I like them in Fallout 4 because you could watch like the first half of it and then skip the end of it. In New Vegas, I haven't found a way to skip through it. Like they make you watch this long, drawn out, and if the head bounces a little bit, it like takes an extra 15 seconds because it keeps rolling and rolling. You're just like, geez.
Although some of them are good, but yeah, I keep them typically turned off as well, just because they do really slow down your gameplay.
Yeah, and I finally found the iron sights setting because that's in the menu too. It was driving me batty trying to do that, shooting the bottles off the fence without being able to look down the sights.
Why couldn't you look down the sights?
Because there's a setting, and evidently, I don't know, somewhere along the line it got turned off, and so I was just it was default to the pip, and like it just doesn't work for me.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So I don't know if we wrap that up. You have to bring those. Oh wait, no. The other thing is you have to get the Xander route. You go over by the school. I was trying to go in the school for some reason, but it's outside of the school. There's like a stump on the ground, and just a couple of feet away is this Xander. Is that how I would pronounce that? Begin with an X, so I don't know. I assume
Xander.
Xander route. You bring that back. Oh, what did I fight there? There was some mantises, I believe. 2, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple of manti as I've been using it's just called knife, I think, but it's totally like an army combat style knife that I picked up somewhere that's been really fun. Using that a lot.
Now, when you were up at the cemetery and you went and got the Brock flower,
what did I miss?
Did you pick up the cigarette butts that were laying on the ground?
No, I didn't. I didn't realize there were cigarette butts. Can I go back?
That's why they send you all the way up there to get it when there's actually a Brock flower about 15 feet away behind you at the campfire.
What does cigarette butts do? Evidence.
Evidence.
Is it from the beginning animation in the game?
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the checkered coat and his cigarette butts has something to do with that?
Yep.
Well, I'll go back up there because I'm still in Good Spring. Because I went out and I did a bunch of other stuff, and then I came back and did all the intro stuff right before we did the show.
There's also another very important item in the cemetery.
Yeah. Tell me all the stuff I missed in Good Spring that I need to get.
Oh, well, your first snow globe is in the cemetery.
Okay. Is that? Do I have to get the shovel for that?
Nope, you do not.
What do you have to get the shovel for? What sort of loot?
You have to have a shovel to dig up the graves.
And that's just gives you random loot.
Yeah, just random loots, and I don't think there's anywhere where it is game-breakingly essential to have a shovel, but there's a number of places where you'll run across a grave or something else. No, your carry weight, especially if we're not doing hardcore, is pretty generous.
Yeah, my strength is 7. I think I have a carry weight of 220 or 230 or something.
It's going to be 200 or so. Yeah, like Arthur's only got like 5 strength, and he's got like 180 carry weight or something. So it's pretty generous.
And
remember, you can once you start picking up multiple weapons, use the repair mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I actually really enjoy that mechanic of just kind of repairing things down to a single pristine item.
That is pretty fun. I still haven't figured out how to use the workbenches and stuff like that, but the repair mechanic is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that with the weapons and the armor, you just use the worst stuff to make, break it down, like Pat said, into one good item. I really like how they did that.
So there's reloading benches, there's the workbench, and then there's cook fires / basically
what your chem tables were.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you cook chems at fires too? Can I make jet and shit? Is there jet?
Once you can make certain chems once you have the recipe, but you have to.
Yeah.
Here, Ray, is it medicine or is it survival for chems? I forget.
I've got them both.
Yeah, so you'll once you find I think chems, I think you have to find the recipes.
Yeah.
But once you can make at least certain chems. I'm not sure if you can make them all, but you could definitely make some chems.
My medicine actually came in helpful earlier today when I'm running some of the King's quest. I'm trying to get Rex as my companion, and there is a part of the King's quest where there's this guy who's shaking down people who need help getting across free. What's that? Free side?
Free side.
Free side. Because it's a dangerous place, so he's escorting people across. And the boss guy up at the Elvis impersonator guys, what are they called? The Kings. The Kings. He's like, go see what's happening there. So I hire this guide to take me across free side. And then he runs up the block really fast, and I'm like, "Oh, where the fuck is this guy going all of a sudden?" And then like he goes conveniently where I can see him shooting off shots, but I can't see what he's shooting at. And then I run up to the corner, and then I see 3 supposedly dead people laying there. And he's like, "Oh man, I'm glad I got these guys. They looked really they're gonna shoot us and kill you and take all of our stuff. Good thing we got here, and good thing you have me." And so, but with my medicine, I noticed as I was walking past the bodies, I was like looting the bodies, and then I noticed an extra option. It gave you the option, if your intelligence was high enough, you could investigate him, the guy. You could convince him to say, you could question him about, what the fuck was going on here. This is really weird. Why did you run away like that? But my intelligence, I needed an intelligence. I think it was 3, and I didn't have that. I only had 2. So I could convince him that way. But there was another way that they allowed it to happen. And it's if your medicine level was 60 or higher, and mine was actually right at 60. So I was like, holy shit, that's convenient. So it allows if my medicine's high enough, it actually allows me to investigate the corpses on the ground using my advanced medical degree that I earned in the game.
With your intelligence of 2.
My intelligence of 2. But then it says, these bodies only appear dead. They are pretending. It's like, oh, that's nice. So you don't even mention that to the guy that what's up, and then you go back and do all this. I just wanted to mention that the medicine not only helps you with stim packs, but they actually worked a way into the game where it helps you like become a medical, like forensic investigator sort of.
There's a lot of medicine checks.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Nice.
Medicine is one of the this game. That's almost every characteristic, not even skill, but like characteristics you have, like perception or intelligence or guns or whatever, will occasionally give you a check of some sort. And but Ray's right, medicine is one. There's a lot. There's a lot of medicine. There's a lot of speech.
Well, both of those checks. Boom.
You're going to be passing lots of checks. It's fun.
I'm needing to get into the actual strip though, so I have to go get one of. I either need 2,000 caps or the some fake passport. Not wreck. Who makes it?
Remember the 2,000 caps. They don't take it from you. You just have to have 2,000 caps.
Oh, they don't actually take it.
Ralph.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the passport you actually have to buy for several hundred caps.
Okay.
Whereas if you've got 2,000 caps, you can just walk in, and then once you walk in, they don't check you again.
That is great. I thought that they were going to take 2,000 caps, so I was
wrong. They want you to gamble those away, not just take them.
Yeah. Good deal. All right, so I am like at probably 1,800 caps or something. I'm really close. I think if I just go on a couple more, just sort of excursions and bring back my.
So Andrew, you're talking about what do you have to do to start getting attacked by the other factions? Now, one of the things to keep in mind is it's actually really good when you start being attacked by especially by either the NCR or the Legion, because they are very well equipped.
The valuable.
You can take their shit and sell it for a lot of caps.
Yeah. I just found my first grenade launcher or whatever it's called. Grenade. I don't even know what it's called.
There's a grenade launcher. There's grenade
rifle.
Yeah,
that's what I think. What's the difference?
One shoots 40 mil, and one shoots 25 mil.
And that just determines how big the
bigger boom. The 25 shoots faster, but the boom is smaller.
Nice.
They both have their place.
Nice. Good deal. I just happened upon an NCR outpost and noticed a Legion guy walking up the road. And I was like, oh, I'm going to see what these NCR guys do. I was expecting them to like go all ape shit when this Legion guy walked across, and he was just, I don't know if he was on a random encounter, just like an NPC on the way somewhere, but the NCR guys just let this Legion guy just walk on the road right past the gate. Like, he didn't go inside the base or everything, but he just walked on the road and just kept on walking right by. They didn't even acknowledge his existence or say anything. I was kind of surprised by that. I don't know what I expected. I thought it was going to be a scripted event. You know what I mean? Where they're like, oh, let's get him. And like, they were going to give me a little bit of backstory on the Legion versus NCR or something, but nothing happened. It was really strange.
Yeah. Where was that at?
If you go through the pass at the Prem Pass, where I found that blind Deathclaw, there's an NCR base right there, and it was at that location. And the Legion soldier was walking from the southeast, sort of up the hill on that road, and he just walked on the road towards the north. He was walking north on the road and just walked right past the base on his way. It was just really strange.
Yeah, because usually they will shoot at each other.
Really? I'm assuming that's what should have happened. But I don't know. Maybe it was dark. Maybe it was nighttime. They didn't see him. They have low perception.
Could be. Actually, could be. Well, nice.
So I think the last part of that is you need to take the Xander route and the Brock flower back to Sunny to the campfire, and she shows you how to make a healing powder. And after you create the healing powder, you not only get that, but also 30 experience points. Oh, that's all that's where I stopped.
Yeah, she does tell you to go check in with the barkeep though.
Okay. Yeah, I need to go over to the bar.
I think that's optional.
She likes to check in with all new people in town or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trudy, right? I think it's Trudy.
Oh, Trudy. Yep. Good call. No, I haven't gone back to talk with Trudy yet.
Yeah. And there's a few little other quests you can do there in Good Neighbor.
Yeah.
There's some powder ganger action. You can learn how to play Caravan from Ringo.
Ooh, Caravan. That's a little card game or something, I assume?
That's the card mini game, yeah.
And there's some guy with dynamite on the porch.
Yep.
Easy Pete.
He comes into play in a quest that you can do there in Good Springs.
Yeah. Anybody else in town? There's a gas station up the hill, right?
That's where Ringo is. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that's okay. That's in the main quest.
No, not main quest. But
it's one of the side quests for Good Springs.
Yeah.
Because when you walked into the bar, you saw Trudy arguing with another guy, Joe Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can get involved in that and decide whether you want to side with the Powder Gangers or the Good Springs people.
Yeah, listener Craig, I think he's doing a play along too. Was saying he's part Legion, so he sided with the Powder Ganger guys. I'm just like, oh no, you can't side with those guys. My NCR character, I ran over to the NCR penitentiary place where all the Powder Gangers guys broke out of, and there's still a bunch of Powder Gangers there hanging out, using it as a base. And I'm not like wearing my NCR uniform or anything like that, but I thought about what if I was actually a hardcore role player, what would I be doing here right now? Like, they're not attacking me, they don't know I'm NCR. I don't even know if my character knows that she's NCR yet.
Yeah. If you went straight to the Powder Gangers from Good Springs, you won't really be strongly affiliated with NCR yet.
No, I'm not strongly affiliated with him, but I have been up to the what is that place with the two statues shaking hands? I've been to that place a couple times, and
Mojave Outpost.
The Mojave Outpost, yeah.
Yes.
But I haven't gotten to do any of their quests or anything really. No, I actually did. I cleared out. There was a town that was overrun
by ants.
What's that?
The giant ants in the freeway pass.
Yeah, I did the giant ants. But then there was a town that was overrun by some. I don't think it was Powder Gangers. I think it was some other.
Oh, the Legion. That was the. That's Nipton.
Yeah. I went to Nipton, and I wasn't against the Legion, and they just kind of walked away. I forget. I don't even remember what they
is scripted. So that one's going to behave differently from a generic Legion encounter.
Yeah, and until you've done some, a fair number of quests with the NCR, you're not really affiliated with them. You'll have good, a good relationship with them.
Well, I'm glad I went right there, though, because I think that's where I got that nice rifle. I have a really nice sort of, would be the equivalent to a combat rifle in 4, but I forget what it's called. And
service rifle.
A service rifle, yeah. I really like the service rifle. Yeah. It's very nice. Yeah. It reminds me of my old love, the combat rifle from 4.
Yeah, there's a lot of good different weapons. I've talked many times before about how I like the power fist better, and there's some good guns.
I haven't run into a power fist yet. Who does one faction have those more often than the others?
Caesar's Legion.
The Legion has those. Okay.
Yeah, specifically the Praetorian Guard, which you'll meet sooner or later.
Okay, great. Is the Legion over by the river?
Yes.
Is that where those guys are?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sort of dabbling over in that area of the map, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to tiptoe too much into these guys' backyard yet.
Afraid of Legionnaires, just kill them, just murder them. They try to fuck with you, just murder them.
Out. So even before I get affiliated with the NCR, I should just already become an enemy of the.
No, you could. I say that just because it's fun. It's very profitable to murder the Legion, just because you can take all their equipment and sell it for fat stacks of caps.
Fat stacks of caps. That's what I'm looking for, baby.
There you go. That's right.
Nice.
Alrighty. So, Kara or Ray, anything from you guys? Anything in your playthrough of the tutorial and first few quests?
I suppose so. First, before I really did anything, I just kind of wandered out of Doc Mitchell's house. Like I said, I didn't realize that, I could take anything from his house, so on and so forth. And I've already given you some of my thoughts on that character creation stuff. And then, so when I was wandering, first I ran into Victor. And I was like, this is Victor. Oh, he's not human. Okay. And I told him how grateful I was for him dragging my carcass to Doc Mitchell, and he was super friendly. I like him. I don't know why Trudy doesn't like him. Then while I was still wandering around trying to figure out where Sonny was, I got told by all the settlers I ran into to not take any offense, but too many strangers were coming into town. So I took everything from every mailbox, toolbox, dumpster, and burnt out building that I could. And I did have one question. When I went up to the bar, how did Easy Pete know about the guys who attacked me? Because he knew that one was in a fancy outfit, but Victor seemed to be like the only one who was there that night. So I just noticed that in conversation with Easy Pete.
They had been in the saloon.
Oh, they had been in the saloon. Okay.
Yeah, and news travels fast in that small town, right? So I think Victor saves you, takes you to the doctor, and word spreads about what happened.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah. So all I really have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Trudy will give you some additional dialogue about their interaction with her at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's actually a tip. A tip I find it is worth. You should clear every dialogue tree you get to. Like Trudy and Ringo, and you just clear the dialogue trees, because you never know when you're going to find something interesting.
Yeah. Just an example. What will pop out? If
Well, like it's a lot of it is like sort of flavor text, but every now and then there'll be like a little small side quest or something that'll be buried in some dialogue.
Yeah, that's
or a quest hook or something else, and you can do it really fast. You can. Once you kind of get used to seeing it, you can blow, because it's we were talking earlier about how there's certain things that the game will not let you skip, like it won't let you skip a cutscene, but it will let you skip dialogue. So you can just clear through it, and your dialogue, of course, is not spoken, right? So because it's done properly in this game, so it's really fast to clear a dialogue tree with any character. And you never know if you're going to have like a skill check embedded in there that you might want to pass and get some random experience points. It's just worthwhile, because you never know what kind of hook you're going to pick up.
Yeah. I actually ran into that with Trudy. I'm going to skip ahead a bit, because after I finished with Sunny, I did head on up to go see Trudy, just because I had a few more minutes to play around. And I fixed her radio for her after going through all of her speech tree. And then when I came back to her, she gives you some caps, and then there's the option to barter for more. And I was just like, no thanks. Let's just take this and move on. So I kind of like that mechanic is still in the game.
How do you fix a radio?
You need a skill level in mechanics of about like 20, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's mechanics.
Repair.
Yeah, repair. There you go. And I had that. So I mean,
you have to go out and collect scrap or anything?
No, you just open her up and you
nice.
mess around and put things back together nicely and turn it on, and you go back and you're like, I fixed it. She goes, I know. I heard it when you turned it on. But thanks. I was like, damn it, Trudy. Come on.
Do you listen to the radio on your Pip-Boy?
Not yet. What about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the one that's like Diamond City Radio. I think if
it's New Vegas. I think it's New Vegas. I mean, you want to hear Mr. Vegas.
There's one, yeah. Who I briefly switch it over to that station. What is that station about? Is it all like talk? It's not all talk radio or something, is it?
No, it's like Travis or Three Dog. It'll play music, but then it'll also narrate your adventures. So that's the one that will talk about your shit.
And
like the stuff you've done in your game.
What is the difference in the music playlist?
It's the Vegas style music, and then the other radio station has the Western style music.
Okay,
there you go.
So it's like Sinatra and stuff versus country Western, or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely worth listening to the radio, at least on one playthrough, just because you hear the Mr. New Vegas says funny stuff, and he narrates stuff. It's well done. It's well integrated into. I think it's better integrated than Travis is in terms of like talking about the stuff you're doing.
Are there shared like classic shared songs throughout the Fallout series that have appeared available on a Pip-Boy radio station in every game?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I mean each of the games has a couple. Like was it 3 had I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire, I think, which is a big one. I think it was 3.
That's definitely in 4. I don't know if it's in New Vegas or not yet.
Maybe there wasn't in 3 then. But yeah, each one has a couple of songs that just seem like particularly iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not a lot of the nuclear songs in New Vegas.
I swear that I heard Uranium Fever. I know that one's in 4, but I swear I heard it in another game. I don't know if it was. It must have been 3 if you're saying that New Vegas doesn't do the nuclear stuff as much.
No.
So would 3 Dog have played that song? Maybe. Could have been. I don't know.
Could have.
Could be. Yeah,
it's the Western station has one of my all-time favorite songs to listen to in the game, and that's Big Iron.
Big Iron?
Yep.
Nice. I'll have to
Big Iron on his hip.
Nice. I just turned up the radio on my Pip-Boy earlier today, and was listening to the music, and I was actually kind of digging the country western stuff. I'll flip over to the Mr. Vegas stuff and check that out a little bit too.
So I already told you that I lost track of Sunny by like the second well, or after the second well, and so she did all the work for me at the third well. I missed my chance to save the Good Springs lady. And then when I went up to by the campfire, when I went up to the graves, I was really tempted to dig everything up, but then I refrained because I thought, okay, if I'm supposed to get in good with this town, or if I want to at some point, I don't think digging up their graves is gonna go over well.
Hey, that new person is up on the hill digging up the graveyard. What are we gonna do?
Like, I mean, you're out in the open. Anyone can see you doing this. So digging up the graves doesn't affect your reputation with Good Springs at all?
Nope.
Are you kidding me?
They missed something there. That should totally count towards a little negative karma or something.
Right? Well, now I'm going to go back up there and dig everything up and take the snow globe. I was like, okay, I don't want to get bad karma here. I'm not ready to.
Just take the bodies, flip them upside down, and bury them again.
Oh, God. So, yeah, I need to go back and do that. And also, when I got back to Sunny with both ingredients, a coyote just spawned right at her feet. Just like right at her feet. It just appeared just as I approached her. And she just freaked out. And she was like, oh, hell no.
Ray, your character popped up?
Yeah.
This game?
He shows up everywhere.
It was kind of amazing.
I just saw my first coyote today, actually. And then I saw like 40 more throughout the rest of my like hour and a half play session today. It was just... I'd never seen one before in the not many, but in the probably 10 or 15 hours I'd played previously in the game. And then all of a sudden in the span of an hour, I just like had to kill like 40 of them. It must have been the area I was running around in. Are they more prevalent down in the southeast corner, or are enemies grouped like that? Do they have regions?
Yeah.
I mean, there's certainly areas where, like if you don't really want to go too far north of the Mojave Outpost, without being pretty good level because of the Night Stalkers.
Night Stalkers.
Yeah, I don't know. What's that?
Ran
into Cazador and ended up having to run away.
Yeah, stay away from Night Stalkers and Cazadors.
Okay, no, Nightkin is something different. What is the Night Stalker?
Nightkin is a kind of super mutant, but the Night Stalker is it's a cross between a coyote and a rattlesnake.
Good Lord.
Okay, wow.
It's got fangs like a rattlesnake and a tail like a rattlesnake.
So it probably does
like a coyote.
Probably does poison damage over time too, then, right? Or something crazy like that.
Yes, it does.
Jiminy Christmas.
See, yeah. Someone told me about these crazy rattlesnake coyotes. And so when I saw the normal coyote today, I was like, oh my God, there's that thing. Go kill it with fire. And I was like, but there's no rattlesnake. That's weird. I wonder if I just run into those later. So they're called something different.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do they mostly come out at night?
They only come out at night.
Then why are they called Night Stalkers?
The Night Stalker.
Ugh.
Yeah, maybe the Kolchak fans. I don't know.
Pat, do you have a favorite bad guy?
Ooh, there's so many good ones.
Ray, same question.
So you think character or like monster type?
Either. I was thinking monster stuff, but characters would be too. Yeah, but monster. I meant, yeah.
Lake lurks are pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Is that similar to?
Because they do some kind of a shout at you. They hit you with a sonic yell.
Yeah.
Like the Mirelurk King's shout.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
A lake lurk. So I assume it's the western version of the Mirelurk there.
Yeah. Looks like a creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Like the king. Then cool.
Oh joy.
Yeah, those are crazy. They turn invisible in this game too. They have cloaking.
I don't think so.
I thought, or maybe I thought there was one variety that did. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's hard to keep all the variations straight.
Lake lurk. God, I haven't even run into a body of water.
Oh, it's a desert.
Yeah, like where the hell is this lake?
There's a couple of specific places.
Yeah.
Like, for example, by the giant dam that they talk about in the entire game.
That's a
they haven't
thing.
talked about it much yet in the game, actually, to me.
Well, see, that's an example of something that if you exhaust all the dialogue trees in Good Springs, you can actually get a lot of information about the NCR, the Legion, the dam, some of the history of the conflict between them. So that's the kind of stuff you can get out of it. So some of it's flavor text, sometimes it's a skill check or whatever.
I'll be sure to grill Trudy and not Will.
Ringo and Trudy and even Easy Pete. All those fuckers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll exhaust their trees and find out a little. See, it was weird to like not interact with any of those people early, and like run out and go get leveled up a bunch, and then come back to Good Springs and then do all the training stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of did a little backwards. One thing, I found this shining cross in the sky, and I ran up to this. It's a memorial of some sort, and I found a sign at the north, I think north end of it, and it said, "Danger! Don't proceed past here. There's a death clause or something." And so I did my save, and I hopped down in the valley, and I was like, "Okay, let's go. I want to see a death claw." And I was running around and trying to just like making noise and doing everything. Nothing. A scorpion popped out, but there was no death claws around. Is that?
Yeah, I didn't remember that. I remember the sign. I didn't remember that it said death claws because it's definitely scorpions in that area. Death claws are a little further out.
But it said warning death claws, so I was just like, that's weird.
Well, there's also stuff called night stalkers in the game that don't just stalk you at night. So.
Yeah. And I went up that road north of Good Springs. You run into Cazadors almost immediately. I also stumbled across some super mutants behind a fence. They've got this area sort of locked down. I haven't really checked them out too much.
Oh, that's probably Black Mountain. Was it up on the hill?
Yeah. Those are the only super mutants I've encountered. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of super mutants. Am I wrong in that assumption, or?
You were not wrong. There's probably as many Nightkin as there are super mutants, or maybe even more Nightkin.
And the Nightkin gets explained in, I believe, the side quest down at the rocket place, but I forget exactly what their backstory is. I'm sure we'll get into that later in the season.
Jacobstown, I think is where they explained.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
and also the Robco rocket factory.
Yeah, that's just that's true. That as well. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Repcon. So Andrew, I don't want to cut you guys off if you're going to, but I am going to sign off here.
Yep, that's great.
It's approaching midnight East Coast time. Don't want to keep you guys. Don't want to slow you guys down. So I will sign off here.
No, I think you're good to go ahead and close out the show, I believe, Pat. If you'd like.
Yeah, well, no, I
unless
if you guys
Ray
want to press on without me, please do. But it is pumpkin time for me.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Pat. We'll see you next week.
Okay, all right, guys. Really fun show. Everybody send in your feedback. Start letting us know how your quests are going. We especially want to hear people's feedback around how your experiences were different. Some of the weird stuff you sent in, and looking forward to stepping through the rest of the New Vegas wasteland with everybody.
Yeah, be great.
All right, good night, everybody. You guys keep going if you want to. I will catch you later.
No, Pep.
Good night.
Great. Ray, there was something you wanted to get into? Was it song? No, you already talked.
So I didn't do too much more than just the basic quests. There's a right by the campfire. There's a little camp trailer, and you run into a guy there in a red ball cap, and you can get a little side quest from him. He tries to kill you.
What?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So he gives you a side quest and then he tries to kill you? What?
Yeah, because he sends you up to take out a bunch of geckos and negotiate some traps to get some loot, and then he wants to kill you to take it from you.
Oh. I didn't find him. I did see the camper, but I didn't find him. But I did find this one young dude who was wandering around, and I was like, all right, let's talk to him. And I thought it was from Good Springs, but he wasn't, as far as I know. And he's like, hey, Hey, so I left my girlfriend over in this place, and I'm going to
Yeah,
describe to you where it is, but I have no idea where it is because I'm new at this game.
yeah,
And she's in
that's the one.
trouble. That's the one.
Yep.
But he's talking about me rescuing his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So there's no girlfriend?
Oh no, she's there.
She's there. Okay.
She doesn't have as much, skin and flesh and all that kind
Oh,
of stuff
oh,
as other
oh,
people do, but
um,
she's
ooh.
there.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that was the same quest.
Yeah. So, and then I made it as far as Prem, um, but I was one sensor module short of being able to repair Eddie. So I'll be looking for some sensor modules.
Do you know the list or the requirements needed to fix Eddie?
Yeah. So you either have, if you have a repair of 65, which I have 35, but not enough magazines to push me over the top. So I need 3 scrap metal, 2 sensor modules, and 1 scrap electronics. And with that, I'll be able to repair him.
That's great. And the follower mechanic is a little bit different. You can have one humanoid follower and either, I keep wanting to say dog meat. What's his name? Rex
or Eddie.
Or Eddie. And Eddie he's a Mr. Handy style, right?
No, he's an iBot.
Oh, he's an iBot. Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't fixed him yet. I thought he was a Mr. Handy for some reason. Are there Mr. Handys in the game? I know there's
there's Gutsies.
Guts.
I don't remember any handies. Gutsies are the military version.
Yeah, Gutsies are the same thing, just militarized. But, yeah. Right. So what else am I missing, Ray? What do I need to find around Good Springs before venturing out further? What are all the little secrets and the nooks and crannies and stuff?
Well, so hitting the mailboxes, you get a bunch of magazines that way.
Mm-hmm.
And you just mentioned that you didn't have enough magazines to get your repair up. So those stack. If you take like 3 magazines, you can do 10 points each or something. How does that work?
I believe, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've actually had, most of the time I've got what I need. But yeah, if I remember correctly, they do stack.
Okay. That's good to know. I will definitely save before I attempt like taking 4 magazines and
yeah,
be like, oh crap, that was a waste.
So, and if you want to find the death clause, so if you if you can manage to skirt around the all the scorpions and the cazadors, you can get up the freeway to a little encampment next to a quarry.
Yeah, I was going to say Arthur ran into a whole quarry of them. Is that where the quarry is up?
Yeah, that's just right up the road, just north of Good Springs.
If it's any indication what kind of fight I'm in for with these death claws,
it's a good idea to avoid it.
The blind one just I was giving it everything I got, and I barely got 2 bars of its health done. It swiped me twice, and I was dead.
So he's got 200 hit. He has 200 hit points, and he does a damage of 100.
Oof. I had no hope.
So he's actually more powerful than the alpha or the mother.
Okay, well, that's why he fucked me up, Ray.
Yeah.
I went around. I went the long way.
Yeah.
It didn't cut through that pass anymore. All right, so what else am I missing here? There was stuff, the cigarette butts. I need to go find the cigarette.
Yeah, the cigarette butts are the main thing there.
No glow.
There's another object that you'll get later on when you meet up with the Great Khans.
Oh, nice. But the snow globe, is it just buried in one of the graves or something?
No,
No.
it's just next to or in front of one of the tombstones.
Oh, okay. I just need to look around a little more. Cool. I'll go check that out. Anything at the wells? Carrie said there was a shovel at one of the wells.
I think the shovel's at the second well.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're not careful when you go there with Sunny, if you don't engage the geckos, they can kill Cheyenne.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And she gets
sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't want Cheyenne to die, but if just a poor little gecko can take her down, I don't know if Sunny.
Well, it's like 2 or 3 of them will attack her at the same time.
Yeah, and they're down at herd level too, so they can get right up in her face and start messing her up. I mean, they took down a human, so why not a dog?
Oh, I don't know. I might take a dog over most people in a fight. depending on the breed, of course. Oh, great. So any other stuff you guys want to get into with your gameplay? Kara, did you have any crazy random encounters out besides our sort of like intro material? Did you have any good side quests or anything to get into?
I just did the stuff that we had, and then I started to get off track-ish with Trudy, and then I was like, all right, I better not do too much before it's time for our next for the next slew of quests. Otherwise, I'll start to forget stuff.
Yeah, I try to play close enough to Showtime to have stuff fresh in the mind.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering, I haven't gone into all of the buildings, and like some of them seem to be like occupied homes. Is it cool to go inside, or is it kind of like, dude, what? Why are you just walking into my house? Like, what the heck? Since they're actually occupied.
Will the guards like arrest you or something, Ray? Are there guards? There's no guards in Good Springs, are there?
No, not in Good Springs.
Victor, is he a guard?
No, because you can go in his house and clean him out without him knowing.
Oh my God! Why? He was so nice.
Rob blind
stuff. You'll take stuff off of that poor dead woman at the well.
She dead.
She
dead. She's not gonna do anything.
Not gonna miss it.
Victor's still up and moving. Which that's another thing. Like, I'm surprised that looting a dead body didn't bring down my unless it didn't bring down my reputation
or karma or whatever.
Yeah. Pretty much only stealing.
Stealing and killing, I imagine.
Only stealing.
Just walk up to Trudy and pop her.
Yeah, I mean, but so that'll only affect your standing in that area.
I haven't just tried randomly attacking too many people yet and testing that sort of thing, Ray. Are there essential NPCs and stuff, I assume? People that can't be killed?
No, you can kill anybody in this one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Because even
quest-breaking stuff.
Yeah, so there's actually ways around that. So I did... a while back, I did a kill everything character.
Oh, nice.
And, even if it was somebody that you were supposed to question and get, some answers from, if you kill them, they'll have a note on them or a journal or, something like that. That'll give you the piece of information that you would have gotten.
Huh.
So like if you were in Prim, and you went into Bison Steve's to rescue Deputy Beagle.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to rescue him. You can while he's tied up, you can shoot him in the head.
I killed him. Yeah.
And take the note, his journal out of his inventory.
Well, Ray, I had the problem I remember this from my PlayStation 3 character I was doing. I was in there rescuing him, and on our way out of the building, he got killed by something, but he was a couple rooms behind me or something, and I lost his body. I couldn't find where his body was, so I couldn't get the journal and the quest marker. It wouldn't like mark to his body. It just said, grab the note off of his corpse. But it wouldn't like point to where his corpse was, and I searched forever and I could not find it anywhere. It's like, I bet you his fucking body clipped through a wall and it's like stuck some weird place and I can't find it. It's like he's trapped halfway between the floor somewhere. Oh, I don't know.
But that's about it.
Yeah, good stuff. Do you have any quick thoughts on what is this thing called, the Creation Kit or Creation Club?
Oh, Creation Club.
Yeah. Quick thoughts on Creation Club before we close out.
So hopefully very soon they will actually come up with some stuff that is worth spending credits on. At this point, everything that's in there is just just stuff. And you can get those on the Nexus for free.
Yeah, you're already above my head. You have to start from square one. What is this? Is this like the beginning of the replacement for mods? What is this thing?
No, so it's just a vehicle that they've come up with for them to. So in the original stuff that they were saying, they were talking about being able to release light DLC type stuff through the Creation Club. So it wouldn't be DLC that would be worth $10 or $20, whatever, but just small little quests and add-ons to the game.
Yeah.
That Bethesda actually either writes themselves or goes through and makes sure that the that the mods work the way they're supposed to, that they're all meshed the right way, that that you can take them in and out of your game without interfering with your game.
Yeah,
and also be able to to improve the mods for PS4.
Oh, there you go. How does,
and so as a concept, that makes sense. That's something that would be beneficial to the game. Well, so they launched the beta, and they've got a couple of armors, some Pip-Boy skins, a couple of guns, some modern furniture, and everybody is just like, "What the heck?" And this stuff's not trivial. I mean, it's you're buying a Pip-Boy skin, and it's 100 credits, and that's essentially $1. And so that's kind of where there's a little bit of panic. They're not going to make all mods go through the Creation Club. It's still going to be, the games are still going to be moddable.
Okay.
They just need to make it worth the money. So
and fuck them for that. Jeez.
The negative thing is that when you load the Creation Club in your game, and at some point it's going to be an update. So it's not even it won't even be a piece that you can opt out of. It'll just be part of the game, and you don't have to use it. But all of those assets for those mods get loaded into your game, whether you buy them or not.
Huh.
So you don't get the key file that opens up the mod and uses those assets, but all those assets get loaded into your game. So as they continue to put more and more into it, your file for the game is going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's ballooning, but you're not using it.
Yeah. And so they got to figure that out. That's got to stop. Because right now it's no big deal. It's only a couple of meg, but at some point that's going to be
a couple
gigabytes.
Yeah.
So
going to be terabytes, Ray.
I don't know. I don't see them making that many mods, and I don't see that many mod makers, doing much with this once they realize that nobody's buying these mods.
Don't throw out that challenge. They'll do it.
Yeah, Michelle agrees with you. He says he doesn't think there's anything worth buying.
Yeah, not yet. So hopefully something good comes from it. But hopefully they don't shut down any mods that I like, just that I can download normally now.
No. Yeah. So there's no indication, and it would make no sense for them to try to shut down the free mods.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd just be like, okay, I got to download every mod that I could possibly ever like, and then
turn off
take my Xbox offline forever.
Yeah.
They'll never know. They can't take them away.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's certainly, stirring up a lot of people. A lot of it is, in my opinion, is unnecessarily, riling people up. But it's the internet. People like to do that.
Oh, man, fucking Bethesda fans online love to get riled up about just anything. I think that's a particular.
It's pretty much everything.
I read lots of comments on their message boards. I'm like, you fucking people are just filled with vitriol. What the fuck? Calm down. They're so mad they're not working on Elder Scrolls 6. They're like, how dare they have other projects that they want to work on?
So we'll see. I mean, it's, there's still potential.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But...
Cool. I just wanted to mention the Fallout board game went on pre-order, I believe, today or yesterday. Pointed out by our good buddy Craig. Thanks, Craig, for sending us that tweet. The I don't know which specific website. I think he actually found it for different prices around. If you look, I just kind of Googled and it popped up on lots of different sites. Here's one called Game Nerds with a Z. It's marked down to $47.97. So if you want to get a deal on that cool new Fallout board game, which I think I kind of want to check it out. Looks fun. I don't know if we can incorporate it into the show somehow or how that would work, but that went on pre-sale. So check it out. I think it ships in October, November. I don't know. So if give it as a Christmas present or something to anyone you know. Maybe Rad Baby needs a board game. I think that would be totally appropriate. Also, very important matter. We have our marathon podcast to benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation on November 11th this year. So everyone, we're just now starting to put the plans together. We've had lots of success in the past with gathering some good funds from good people like you. And we really can't do awesome projects like this without you. So keep your ear to the ground. Just know that we are going to do it again this year, and it will be on November 11th. And that's, of course, a fun date because Skyrim released on November 11th in 2011, and it's just fun it lines up on an anniversary. Usually, we sort of try to incorporate the release of a video game into the marathon. It was Fallout 4 and then Skyrim Special Edition. So this year, I'm not sure if we're going to have sort of a theme, but we will have a highly segmented program. It'll be 12 hours of marathon podcasting, and we will feature all of our different shows from ASA Podcasting. A Skyrim Addict will definitely be on, and hopefully the Chatterbox will get a little segment, the Fallout feed. Maybe my wife and I will even do our new show, an awesome spaceship. And I don't know, Kara, we could throw some Mario Kart on there too. Do a ASM podcast.
Bring it.
So keep your ear to the ground. We'll be auctioning off a couple of different prize packages. We'll have definitely a Fallout package and some Skyrim, those awesome leather-bound Skyrim lore books. We're going to have a package of those to be auctioned off. So everyone, keep your ear to the ground for more information on the marathon coming up November 11th. It's one of my favorite events every year, and it's super fun, and I'm super excited to do it again this year. You guys have any other closing thoughts?
I think you said it all.
Yep. So at Dragon Con, I did get a chance to meet the voice actress for Kate.
Oh, is she Irish?
No, Scottish.
Was that a Scottish accent she was doing?
No, she was doing an Irish accent.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she is a cutie.
Nice. That's really awesome. And you weren't like crude and said anything about her arse, did you?
No.
Okay, good, Ray. You behaved yourself.
Yeah, I have credentials. I have to be careful.
You give her some. Wait, it wasn't Jet. What was she into? Was it Psycho? I don't remember what she was into.
I think I might have been Jet.
It was Jet? Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
She was addicted to something. No, that's really cool. I'm glad you got to meet her. Did you get a picture or anything?
No. You got to pay for all that stuff.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Screw that. It's such a scam. All that racket there at those cons. It's crazy. But that's great. Anything else you wanted to mention about Dragon Con? What was the most impressive thing that you saw just walking around?
So I posted in the Facebook group a picture of now I can't remember the name, but it's the big blue bird from, what is it, Overwatch, I think is the game. That costume was absolutely incredible. I mean, this guy had made it all himself, and he had these actuators that he could move the head around, and it was just this massive costume. It's amazing what people create, to celebrate their favorite characters.
That's cool. Did you run into any Fallout cosplayers there?
Some Adam Cats.
Hey, that's cool, Daddy-O.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of people there in Adam Cat jackets.
That's fun. I think Lee ran into someone, if I'm not mistaken. Who did?
Yeah, I think
Vault
111 character. When I was there, he was talking to the Bikini Borg.
Is that a Star Trek thing?
A
sexy Star Trek thing.
One of the great things about Dragon Con is that people love to do costume mashups, and so they'll mix different stuff together, and it's always good fun.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
The Borg is from Star Trek, right? I'm not making a fool of myself right now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Star Trek.
Okay, I've never watched it. I don't know. That's really cool. That's fun. I'm glad you had a good time, Ray. That's a good stuff.
Yep.
All right. Kara, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Ray, always a pleasure.
Evening, sir.
We will see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.